Greetings, fellow earthlings, and welcome to Tales from the Hoop, a podcast dedicated to diving into the weird, wild, and wacky stories from basketball history. I am your relatively sick host, and I don't mean that in a good way, I mean like ill, Ricky
Yeah,
Freck. And today, I'm telling a story about the guy who gave the world its best modern player to my brother.
Laser Dave.
Okay, so today I got a short disclaimer before we start. No trigger warnings for this one. There's nobody. No, this one's a positive story.
Finally, we've been
However,
needing it.
yeah,
We've been in the trenches lately.
however, I will say that there are a lot of names and places in here
Ooh,
that I probably won't pronounce correctly. I am an
okay.
amateur basketball historian and definitely know almost nothing about the former Yugoslavian countries.
Yeah. No, I've been struggling with this lately, so it's timely because the Australian Open's been on,
Ah,
and a lot of Eastern European players in the tournament. And I've been watching tennis a lot longer than my wife, and she's like, it's people I'd never even seen their names before, and she's like, "Oh, how do you pronounce that?" I'm like, I have no idea.
yeah,
Why would I know?
yeah. I was listening to a person talk about football ostensibly, but they
Mm.
got on the topic of the Australian Open,
Hmm.
and they said to not to me into the microphone
Yeah.
that the men at the Australian Open, the men's tennis players, are so jacked they look like bodybuilders.
Oh, okay.
And they were talking about who's the Spanish guy that's really good?
Carlos Alcaraz.
Yeah, they were talking about Alcaraz, specifically saying his arms were gigantic.
Oh, yeah.
I went and
Okay.
looked. That is not true. I don't know why they would say that.
I mean, if you're talking not bodybuilders, I would say more like male models or something. If
Yeah,
you're saying like
yeah,
lean
yes.
bodybuilders, yeah,
He is in incredible shape, but he would be a physique man, not a bodybuilder. Maybe he just
yeah.
doesn't have the verbiage for how you're supposed to describe those people. But it was very off-putting because I was like, "Oh, is this guy like a really huge?" And then no, he's just like
You were
very
expecting
toned,
like
slender European man.
Arnold Schwarzenegger playing
Yeah,
tennis.
yeah. I was like, "What is happening in tennis that this monster is now apparently very good at it?" But
One
no,
of my
he's just
favorite things on the internet ever was I think it was Twitter, but it was a long time ago, but someone posted these doctored images of like Roger Federer hitting
uh-huh.
the ball in a tank top, and his swinging arm was like three times bigger than his, and they were like, it's
Yeah,
crazy how hitting the ball gets your one arm so much more jacked than the other.
yeah.
And there was like endless comments of people being like, I've never seen these angles before.
These angles.
And it was just he had doctored all of these players to just have one gigantic arm that was completely out of proportion from their body. But
You think it was the swinging or the stroking? You know what I mean?
I'm sorry.
What? No, never mind. We'll move on. Okay.
Pause.
So on October 28th, 1924, Krista, and I looked this up, and this apparently is how you pronounce this name is spelled, and there are some uh, non-English characters, but it's sort of spelled Dorde, but apparently it's pronounced George.
Okay. Yeah. Easy.
George
George.
Nikolic were visiting Krista's sister in Sarajevo, which at the time was in a country called Kingdom of Serbs, Croats, and Slovenes.
Okay. Fun.
The country
That's the actual name of the country.
at the time that was the actual name of the country in
Okay.
1924. But in 1922, so 2 years prior to this date, the most people just started calling it Yugoslavia.
Yeah.
Uh, in
Okay.
modern times, Sarajevo is in Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Yep.
So, as you maybe don't know, Yugoslavia no longer around and has been broken up into like Bosnia and Herzegovina, Slovenia, Serbia, Croatia, a bunch of smaller countries now are come out of there. Okay, so Krista was pregnant at the time when they were visiting her sister and suddenly went into labor, giving birth to their son, Alexander. I think maybe it's Alexander. It's
Yeah.
spelled a different way, but I'm gonna say Alexander and not Alexander. Just hope I'm right.
Okay.
And luckily for the youngster, growing up in uh, Eastern Europe during the rise of the Nazi Empire, his dad, when he was born, when the kid was born, his dad was 62 years old and was
Oh my
extremely
Lord.
wealthy. So he was 62 having his son.
Yeah. And you said he was extremely wealthy.
Yeah, so we don't know. I mean,
Yeah, that makes more sense.
I'm assuming it was a young mother who got with a man that was extremely wealthy. I don't know that for sure.
Could be
Unfortunately,
a 61-year-old uh, Renaissance woman.
I don't think that's possible physically. I think like especially back then, I don't think women could have babies that old.
I think modern medicine is what stopped women from having babies that old.
Really?
That's a joke.
Oh, okay. You could have fooled me. So there's not a lot of information about George and Krista available on the websites I could read. Maybe somewhere with in a in I don't know. I again very ignorant. Don't know what language they speak.
Okay. Yep.
But so maybe there's stuff out there, but I couldn't find anything that was in English and able to be translated. But he was very wealthy, and so despite growing up in during the rise of Nazi Germany, Alexander enjoyed a relatively privileged upbringing. So he's very well taken care of, even with the wars happening around him, or I guess war, because World War War would have been ended in 1918, I think. So
Yeah.
he would have not been born yet. But with
Yeah,
World
his
War II
dad probably
happening,
had a pension, like they were living large.
so it sounds like. Sure.
Yeah.
So Alexander went to the University of Belgrade studying medicine and law in 1946.
Okay.
The year before, 1945, World War II was at its end, and one of the countries that emerged from the war was the Federal People's Republic of Yugoslavia. Later would be known as like the Socialist State of Yugoslavia. It's gone through several names, and as I
Yeah.
said earlier, it collapsed. I don't know exactly when it collapsed. I know Slovenia became a country in 1991, but it collapsed at some point in the 90s and split up into a bunch of other nations. But it's kind of weird because, as we'll talk about later, from like 96 to 2000, Serbia and Montenegro, which are now two different places, went to like Olympic Games and stuff as former Yugoslavia. So it's all
Okay.
very confusing if you're
Yep.
not. So we're not going to worry too much about getting that right. Just know that we had this new place basically called Yugoslavia. So
Okay.
the fledgling nation lacked any real sporting clubs because it was brand new. There wasn't places for kids to go play sports. So officials quickly went to work to establish sporting opportunities for its youth. So the same year the country was created, it formed the first federal basketball league. So in 1940,
FBL. I like that.
yeah.
Okay.
So in 1945, Alexander is a 5'8" small forward, which is wild to think about now.
5'8" small forward.
Five
How
foot
old
eight.
is he?
He would have been, let's see,
9?
45. No, he's 21.
Wow.
21, I think.
Okay. It's just different over there.
He's in essentially his junior year of college, I believe, at this point.
Yeah.
So he started playing for a team that, at least in America or in English, is called Red Star Basketball Club. It has a different name, but it translates to that. So I'm just not going to try to pronounce the other one and save you
Okay.
all that. Uh,
The Red Star. That'd be a super popular team name over here.
yeah. So the Red Star played in Belgrade, which is where he was attending school, if you remember what I said earlier. He also that year played for the Yugoslav Army, which I was a little confused by. It was a team for like 1 year. I don't
Okay.
think they were actually in the army, but I could be wrong.
Oh, okay. It could be like army members
It
that
might be.
created a team, or it could just be an homage to the army.
Yes, I'm not sure
Okay.
which one it was, but they played in the
Okay.
inaugural season of the Yugoslav First Basketball League, which for the very first season, basically what they did is they took 5 teams and from the different like smaller nations that made up Yugoslavia and then put
Hmm.
them into a single elimination tournament, which is
Okay.
it was one of the stranger things. The way the tournament is set up is really strange to me because it's 5 teams, right? So one team gets a bye to the
Yep.
second round, right? But there's only 2 teams coming out of the first round. So the team that got a bye was Yugoslav Army. They had to play Croatia, I think. Was it Croatia? Yeah, they had to play Croatia in the second round. But Serbia, who was in the first round, got a bye in the second round to the final. So then they had to play Croatia and then Serbia. and they beat Serbia to win the first ever title. But it's just, why would you even, I don't know. 5 teams is not enough. You got to
Hmm.
have more than 5 teams.
Yeah.
Even if- or I don't know, or to a group like a group stage. It can't be a single elimination tournament. That's not. It's not. They were not very smart at building tournaments in 1945, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, now in 1946, so the year after he won a title, he played for a team, and I'm probably going to mispronounce this, but called Partizan in Belgrade. He didn't win anything there, so he went back to Red Star in 1947. With them, he won 3 more Yugoslav league titles, giving him 4 as a player. Alexander played for 2 more years in Belgrade with various clubs, but decided to hang up his sneakers in 1951 to get into coaching. So in 1951, he is 26, 27. He's 27. He's going to give up playing basketball and just become a coach.
Okay. Wow.
So his first order of business was to take over at 27 years old as the head coach for Yugoslavia's national team. Now we're going to talk about his time at the helm soon, a little bit more about it. But for now, all you really need to know is that he coached the national team exclusively for the first 8 years of his coaching career. So he
Okay.
wasn't coaching a club team. It wasn't like he was doing in the offseason. Instead, in the offseason, he was working as a professor at the University of Belgrade, where he went to school. He was part of the Faculty of Sport and Physical Education.
Okay.
I'm assuming, and I'm sure you would too, that pay was not great for coaches back in the
Yeah.
50s. So he had to hold down another job, but was known for, or became well known for, grueling practices, his incredible dedication to coaching,
Okay.
and he was like one of the first guys to make in-depth scouting reports of his opponents.
Hmm. Interesting. I always love when someone's like not paid very well and really doesn't have any incentive to like work that hard, but they
Yeah,
just like there's something probably in their soul that I always think about like some of the best jobs I've had. I really didn't have a motivation to other than to stay employed.
yeah.
Like I wasn't like, oh, we got to take over the world. I just don't have that Mamba mentality, I guess. And so I always love stories when this guy doesn't even need to do this, and it's like let's create scouting reports.
he had
That's
to get
truly the love of the game right there.
he had to get an edge, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think in some ways I kind of vibe with that as someone who spends a lot of time making YouTube videos for not a lot of money.
Oh, come on, it'll pay off.
We'll see, maybe someday. Okay, so in 1959, he'd been working as just the national team's coach for 8 years, and he decided he was going to
Okay.
branch out and start coaching at the club level. So he spent 4 years coaching Belgrade-based teams, and during that stretch, he won 1 Yugoslav Cup and 1 Yugoslav League title with his club team. And in 1961, he also led Yugoslavia's national team to a silver medal in the Eurobasket. So that was the
Okay.
very first time Yugoslavia had ever won a medal in any international basketball competition. Now, you might be saying, when did they start doing those? Was it that year? No. So Eurobasket, I believe, goes back to 1945, and the FIBA World Cup goes back to like 1935, somewhere in there. So it had been around. There had been a lot of instances of this tournament happening, and Yugoslavia was, to put it mildly, straight trash.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so in 1963, still coaching the Yugoslavian national team, but he decides he's going to stop coaching in Yugoslavia at the club level, and he's going to go to Italy,
Okay.
which at the time,
I'm assuming it has a bit better of like a built up community for basketball.
yeah. So at the time, I would say I don't know this for sure, but obviously, like Spain is a basketball hotbed, but I feel like Italy and Spain are like the two hotbeds for European basketball
Okay.
in the relatively early days, right? Like now, obviously,
Yeah.
like France is huge. Germany is pretty big. Of course, if we're talking outside of Europe, a lot of places in, like Brazil, even then, I think Brazil is pretty big. But I think that Italy and Spain were like the places you wanted to go. I
Yeah.
think. I don't know for sure, but that's
Yeah.
what I think. So that year, 1963, he led Yugoslavia to a silver medal finish in the FIBA World Cup, losing to, as I mentioned, Brazil in the final, but scoring big wins over the USA and the Soviet Union. So two of the main
Wow.
powers, he beat
Yeah.
them.
Scouting
Now,
reports, baby.
now, I will grant you, of course, that the USA was only using college players at the time still, so there is that to keep in mind, right? There
Yeah,
was that was always at the back of everyone's minds was that they weren't using technically their best players, whereas other countries arguably were.
yeah.
The Yugoslavs also picked up a bronze medal at the Eurobasket that year, so he did pretty well in 1963. 2 years later, he decided he was going to leave the national team. He didn't want to coach there anymore. He was going to pass it on to someone else. He instead moved to the club career, just coaching at the club level, and he spent a lot of time in Italy and some time in Yugoslavia, and had a ton of success over the next 12 years. So he was coaching in the early 70s in Italy. He was coaching a team called Ignis Varese.
Okay.
I think I did look that up, and I think that's right, but it could be wrong. And I mean, absolute domination. Two FIBA Intercontinental Cups in 1970 and 1973, three Italian League titles, and three Italian Cups between 1970 and 1973. And for good measure, he also won three EuroLeague titles with the team. Even better, the team captured a triple crown in 1970 and 1973 with him at the helm, winning every possible championship and cup on their roster
Good
or on their
Lord.
schedule.
Wow. Yeah. Sheesh. Okay.
Since then, only two other Italian teams have done that. So in the last 50 years, only two other
Right.
teams have done it. And he did it in the span of 4 years.
I was gonna say,
In
just a
total,
young.
yeah,
Oh.
in total, I think it's happened like 25 times, and most of it is Tel Aviv. Like a lot of them
Hmm.
come from them, and Real Madrid has some, of course, but Real Madrid was the first. They did it in like 1950 or something, but 1960 maybe. But
Okay.
yeah, so very impressive in Italy. And then in 1977, he decided that he wanted to come back to Yugoslavia's national team and do one last season. So since then,
Okay.
or since he'd left, which is in 1965, if you don't remember, so 12 years had passed, they'd actually had quite a bit of success without him at the helm. They won the World Cup in 1970 and the Eurobasket in 73 and 75. However, this year was going to be a matchup for the ages, because while Alexander was widely seen as the father of Yugoslav and Serbian basketball, he was now going up against the father of Soviet and Russian basketball. And
Okay.
to take it one step further, the two just so happen to have the same first name.
Okay. Love
So
that.
Alexander, I think sort of the same name. I guess he's actually Alexander, not Alexander. Alexander Gomelski came into the 1977 Eurobasket with four tournament wins under his belt. So he'd won this thing four times, coming in to face our hero, Alexander
Wow.
Milko Nikolic. Nikolic.
Yeah.
So our hero knew that it was going to be a very tough test.
That is kind of a like a historical name, just kind of like all in the same generation. A bunch of people will be named the same thing.
Mm,
So if they're like similar in age, then it's not crazy, right?
I think they were born, yeah, like very close to each other.
Yeah, that always happens.
Yeah, and it's not like Alexander's like like the most niche name either, but
Right.
still,
Especially like from if someone says it's is with a K, right?
his is with a K. The guy from Russia, I'm not sure if it's with a K or not. I think it might
Yeah,
be with
and
an X.
anytime someone is like I'm Alexander with a K, I'm thinking, Baltic region, somewhere up in there.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so we're in 1977. It's the Eurobasket. Surprisingly, the Soviet Union actually didn't come out of the group stage unscathed. They lost one game in the group stage. I think there was five teams. They lost to Italy.
Okay. Yeah.
Yugoslavia was in the other group and also picked up a loss, losing a tight one to Czechoslovakia.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
they finish as the second best teams in their respective groups, which means they have to go up against the team that beat their opponent. So, which meaning Yugoslavia has to play Italy, Soviet Union
Hmm.
has to play Czechoslovakia in the semis. So, did they get revenge? Yes. Yugoslavia blasted Italy 88 to 69.
Oh my gosh. Yep.
And the Soviet Union thumped Czechoslovakia 91 to 76.
Put it to him.
In the final, both teams played a little bit tighter, but Yugoslavia won a 74 to 61 slugfest thanks in
Yep.
large part to tournament MVP Praja mm, Dalapij.
Yep.
Dalap,
Yeah.
I looked this up and now I've forgotten. We'll just call him Praja. Dalap,
Raja.
Dalapagic. That's right, Dalapagic.
Sounds great.
Raja Dalapagic, who is a guy we'll probably do an episode on at someday. I should have probably said, I'll save it to the end. If that weren't good enough, both teams also participated in the 1978 World Cup with the exact same coaches. So the
Mm.
Alexanders were potentially going to meet again. Now, again, as I said, back in the day, they did not organize their tournaments very well. So listen to this. As the defending World Cup champions, the Soviet Union got a bye straight to the semifinals.
Okay, great. That
A-
seems reasonable.
And the Philippines, which was the host country, also got a bye straight to
Okay,
the
that
semifinals.
seems insane. Yeah, just because you're the host,
So
ridiculous.
everybody else had to go through. There were three groups of four teams per group. So Alexander's men had to go up against Canada, Senegal, and South Korea, and pretty much just blasted every single one of them. Not, I mean, I don't. I think maybe the Canada game was kind of close, but it was. We're talking like dream team level blowouts
Yeah,
in some of these games.
yeah.
Uh, the semifinals, and then they went to this is okay. Then it gets even weirder, right? So we have three groups. The top two teams advance, right? So
Okay,
Canada and Yugoslavia, and then two teams from the other groups. There's also, of course, the Soviet Union and the Philippines. So there are eight teams left.
okay.
So eight teams, right? That's a perfect single elimination tournament. That's what you would do, right?
Yep, exactly.
No, they go to group stage again. You have to play
They go
every
to
team
group.
once.
Okay,
You have to play every
yeah.
team once. They play 7 games, right?
They're just trying to have fun.
They play 7 games. And then the top two teams from the group stage play each other in one final game to see who
Come on.
wins. And then like the 3 and 4 play each other for third place, 5 and 6 for
Yeah,
fifth place, all the way down.
give me a break.
So Yugoslavia went unbeaten in 7 games to make the final knockout game. They beat the Soviets by 13 in this round, but then the Soviet Union came back, beat Brazil on the final day to go 6-1, while Brazil went 5-2. So they faced Yugoslavia in the final for the World Cup after they'd already lost them by 13. Keep that in mind.
Wow. Okay. Yep.
So Yugoslavia early in the game races out to an 11-point lead, but the Soviets charge back, knotting the score 41-41 at the half.
Okay.
Alexander's men started the second half well, getting up by 4, and then the Soviets go on an 8-0 run to build their own small lead. Around that point, the game is tied back up at 59-59, and neither team could separate. It was a back and forth second half, neither side building more than a 4-point lead throughout the rest of the game. With 27 seconds left to go, the Soviets are down by 2. Antalij, that's not right. I looked this up as well, and I can't remember now. Antalij Mishkin ties it back up 73-73. There's 27 seconds left on the clock, but nobody can make us goal. We go into overtime, baby.
Okay. Yep.
Unfortunately for the Soviets, star center Vladimir Tachenko fouled out, I believe, as it was described in the thing I was reading, at the tip off. He fouled during the tip off and fouled
Yeah.
out of overtime,
Dang.
which is
That's
wild.
brutal.
Yeah.
That's a great name though. Vladimir Tachenko.
Yeah. Yeah. Really
Dog.
good name.
I want to hang out with Vladimir Tachenko. We have a
He
good night out on the town. Me
he
and
might be
Vladimir.
alive. He could be alive.
I'll
I mean,
email him.
he is, a former USSR man, but he might be alive, so I don't know. Yugoslavia's MVP from the Eurobasket and from this event as well, Praja, the guy, Delapagic, he knocked down a few free throws to cap a 5-point run and put the score at 82-77 Yugoslavia. The
Hmm.
Soviets came back, scored twice. They got within 1 point with 6 seconds left to play. But our heroes, Yugoslavia, ran out the clock and grabbed a victory.
Dang. Okay.
So it was seen as a massive double upset for the Soviets and firmly cemented Alexander's status as a legendary coach of his era. After the tournament, he decided to leave the national team once again, but kept coaching, mostly in Italy, which, to be fair, probably a way better climate. You get to drink a lot of wine and just kind of hang
Yep.
out, so I don't blame him there. And he retired in 1985.
That's so funny. Whenever you started this with like he's a Yugoslavian professor that also kind of coaches. I just thought I didn't think you said earlier there was no trigger warnings, but I just thought this was going to be a sad story. So I'm
No,
glad that this guy, yeah,
this one's
this
all
is
happy.
great.
He was enshrined in the Naismith Hall of Fame in 1998 and passed away in Belgrade in 2000 at the age of 75. The guy
Wow.
had a massive impact on basketball in the former Yugoslavian nations, which, as mentioned, includes like Serbia, Slovenia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Croatia, on and on. Actually, probably not on and on, but some more, I think. He coached and mentored players like Bozidar Malikovic, Dusan Ivkovic, Bogdan Tanjevic, and Zelko Obradovic. He also coached two future FIBA Hall of Famers in Borislav Stankovic and Kresimir Kosic. However, it's Obradovic that I want to focus on. So he had
Okay.
coached him and mentored him when he was trying to get into coaching. And Obradovic went on to become a great coach in his own right, coaching what at the time was called former Yugoslavia, which uh, was technically Serbia and Montenegro combined. He coached their
Okay.
national team from 1996 to 2000. One of his players there was named Dejan Milojevic. I'm probably
Okay.
pronouncing that wrong. Didn't look that one up. But this guy, he was a good player, right? But he actually got cut every time, like before a tournament, every single time. So he never made a final roster under Obradovic. He did eventually get on and start making some rosters after he left the team.
Hmm.
But through Obradovic, Milojevic has a coaching connection to Alexander. And what's wild about that is that Milojevic started coaching Mega Basket in 2012.
Hmm.
You know
Okay.
anything about Mega Basket?
I know that I've heard the name of it referenced, and it feels like a lot of the foreign players that come over to the NBA, they're like, oh, he was really good in Mega Basket.
Yeah.
I don't know what country it's in or anything, but I know it's like a league of some sort.
No, it's a team.
Okay, sorry. There you
Yeah.
go. A
So
lot
I'll
of
just
players have come from it,
let
right?
me just read it as I have it written. If
Okay,
you
great.
know your Mega Basket history, 2012 is the same season Nikola Jokic joined the team as a young
Ah,
budding star. So even past him being the father of basketball in Jokic's home country, Alexander has a direct, though slight connection to the best player on the planet at this particular moment.
all right. Okay.
You disagree?
How do you want to define that? The best basketball player on this moment?
At this moment, yeah, right now.
LeBron
Best.
James.
You think LeBron James is better than Jokic right now?
I think he's the best player probably of all time.
Yeah, but right now, today, you would take LeBron James in a game. You have to win one game. Right now, you're taking LeBron over Jokic.
Probably not, but I think it's closer than people want to give it credit for.
I think LeBron is like a fringe top 20 player still.
As a team player, sure, but one on one, I'd need this guy to win the game. I
Yeah.
mean, come on. I
I
still
think,
think I'd probably have KD. Sorry, if you're talking about like start a team around, it's not close. But
oh, okay.
if you're
I
talking
mean,
about like
yeah, maybe
win a game,
win
win
one
one
shot.
game,
One shot is different. That's true. But I think Jokic does so much well that he is like the guy you'd want to build a team around, and you would want him if you were trying to win in one game because he
yeah.
can
Let's
fill.
be clear. I'm a hater because I'm a Thunder fan, but you know, I he's a stat pattern, man.
You think Jokic is a stat patter?
I gotta. Someone's got to say it. This guy, he's doing the same thing Russell Westbrook was doing,
That one of
and
the
people
wildest
are
takes I've ever seen.
so yeah. So people are just so over their shoes about it. Come on,
Is that a phrase over their shoes?
over their skis. Yeah,
Okay.
out over your skis. Sorry, I said shoes.
Listen,
Very
FTA,
similar. Very
get
similar
out of
thing.
here. Get out of here with your bad
FTA. Oh
takes.
my God. Jokic has more free throw attempts this season,
Yeah,
but you know.
he deserves more of them because he doesn't flop as much.
Okay. Um, I do think if sorry if you've got more Mega Basket, we can. I don't
No,
want
that's
to
it. That
derail completely, but
story about Alexander Nikolic is over. But
I
I
was
do want to point
watching
out
the.
one of the
Go
best
ahead.
one of the best coaches of all time that nobody knows about. And
Yeah.
before you talk about whatever you're going to talk about modern days, I was going to say earlier that I'm probably going to try to filter in a lot of European basketball because I feel like a lot of people don't know about it.
Yeah.
So be prepared for more
Love
European
this.
basketball players to come through.
Bargnani
Did
was one
you
of my favorites growing up.
do you know the name Oscar Schmidt?
Nope.
Okay, great.
Cool.
I think that's going to be our next episode.
Great. Um, I was watching the Nuggets the other day, and it's beautiful. I mean, they just he's a really fun to watch, even when you don't like him. They're playing tonight. I can't wait. It's gonna be an amazing game. But I was watching them and then the Rockets, and I used to, before the season I thought the Rockets were like second or third best team in the league.
Uh-huh.
I think that they're all right now. If you told me someone's gonna win an NBA championship, you have to pick confidently who you think it could be.
Okay.
It's Thunder number one,
Yeah. Eh,
Nuggets number two,
eh.
Spurs number three,
Spurs? I don't trust the Spurs.
and Timberwolves number four. And I think it's going to be the best pre-conference finals in the history of the league this year. I
See,
can't
I
wait.
I think you're making a mistake in saying that
Nah, I'm not. I've never made a
because
mistake in my life.
I don't know about that. But I think I think you have to include like somebody from the East.
You don't.
Why not?
Because they all got beat by the Pacers last year,
Yeah, but if
who
it
got beat by a Western team.
but they almost beat the Thunder.
So,
I'm just saying.
almost don't count.
Yes, but if uh the Halley band doesn't get hurt, they have a really good shot at beating the Thunder.
Probably.
And
Yeah.
here's the thing about that. It's going to be true this year too for whoever makes it because not because I think the Thunder are bad, but because the Thunder have to go through that gauntlet. Whereas like the Pistons, who are they playing? Jalen Brown? Come on.
Yeah, okay. I like the Pistons a lot.
I'm not saying
But
necessarily the Pistons. I'm just saying whoever comes out of the East has a much easier path.
yeah, I think you have to like take your licks in deep playoff runs before you can win it all. The Thunder, what they did last year is so abnormal. I think that the Pistons need to lose in the Western Conference Final or the Eastern Conference Finals, or have like a deep 7 game, almost nail biter in the semis before they ever can come to raise to the level of those other four teams. The Timberwolves have been there, you know?
I don't disagree that I think that those teams are all better than the Pistons. I think that to not include someone, I mean, maybe not even the Pistons either, just some team, whoever comes out of the East has to be included
The Knicks, but
because,
yeah,
yeah, I would trust them
just kidding.
less. They suck.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I think when I watch, and I watch a lot more West basketball, I do East basketball, but man, every time I've seen a game from one of those teams where I was like, I don't know who could beat them. Wembanyama specifically, I know like I'm not the first person to say is he already on the level of like MJ, LeBron, Wemby? Is the going to be the conversation?
Uh, okay.
You don't think he's got that potential?
Yeah, I mean, I think that when Wembanyama entered the league, if he is not a Hall of Famer, it's a failure.
Yeah, but man, the he is. It's unbelievable how
Yeah, I
much
mean,
he
he's
impacts the game. I mean, the only thing that will stop him from being a top 10 player is injury,
top
and
10.
he'll probably be very injury prone throughout his career. So,
Yeah, man.
as a Thunder fan, we can only pray
Or you just trade for him.
that
Every draft pick you have.
might as well.
And Chet just to make
I saw,
make them hate each other even more.
I saw him talking about people were like doing Giannis trades, and someone was like, the Thunder won't do it, but like if Milwaukee really wanted the best return, like that's where they're
Yeah,
gonna get it, as if
yeah,
it was like Jalen Williams and picks.
yeah.
And I was like, I would never do that. At least maybe wait till the offseason. Like if we lose in the second round, maybe I consider it. But could you imagine if the front court of the Thunder was Giannis, Chet, and Hartenstein?
Be wild.
Bro,
That'd be wild.
that be the lankiest team in the entire world. A history of all sport.
Yeah, that'd be wild. Yeah, we'll have to actually the next episode. When is the All Star game?
Oh, like 2 weeks.
So we might actually have to do our All Star picks, or if we miss it, we miss it. Who cares? We'll see. But yeah, I mean, do you have anything else you want to talk about modern day NBA? I don't know. I'm
No.
about to come out of hibernation and start watching again.
Hit us up in the comments if you think someone's going to beat one of those four teams. I love that.
I think,
The Pistons.
I mean, I just love the Pistons.
I know.
I think I really should.
They're fun to watch.
If I wasn't such a like a players guy instead of a team guy and didn't really have like a team, I would just pick the Pistons.
Yeah.
They have my all-time favorite player, and they currently have a guy from Oklahoma State and from Memphis, the two teams I root for.
Hmm. Yeah.
And the most famous incident in my lifetime took place there. That's
Most
famous
famous incident in my life.
basketball incident to
I
be
know, I
clear.
know, I know. It's just it shouldn't be the most famous. I mean, it is, but it shouldn't be.
I remember watching that live. It was crazy.
It's so funny. I mean, I was aware of like that team, but the when I really started watching basketball was like the Greg Monroe years
Yeah.
and the Andre Drummond, and I just it's so funny to think of them as like a historically great team because they were so mid for
What do you mean? They had the drum god
20 years.
and Blake Griffin.
Yeah, and he got, 18 rebounds a game to win 18 games a season.
Yeah, there we go. It's
Yeah.
good numbers. They had I don't know who else they had. I'm trying to think of other
I actually
Pistons players.
didn't hate them until Reggie Jackson started talking trash on the Thunder when he left and he signed
Mm,
that huge deal for the Pistons,
yeah.
saying like I'm going to be better than Russell Westbrook,
Yeah, bad look for
and
him.
he was, yeah,
He's trash.
yeah.
He's
He
trash. All
ruined
right.
their franchise.
You said he ruined their franchise?
He like signed a max deal and then scored like 12 points a game for four
Oh,
seasons and they were
yeah.
just attached to this, you know, mid-tier six man of the year candidate as their star.
Oh, kind of like every team that brings in DeMar DeRozan or
Hey,
Zach LaVine or
or both
Vooch.
at the same time.
Yeah. Well, I was naming all the Bulls players I hate.
Oh,
Vooch.
they're all gone now.
Is Vooch gone?
I thought he played for Portland.
Does he?
Am I crazy?
I think you are, but I don't know.
No, he's Bulls.
Yeah.
Okay. Who did I see on Portland the other day?
Time Lord plays there.
Hmm.
Nurkic? No, Nurkic went to Phoenix, right?
Yeah, I
When they
messed
traded
up. I don't know.
DeAndre Ayton. All these teams that don't matter, I don't pay attention to. So, you know what, Trailblazers fans, if you want me to like your team, tell them to get good, and then I'll know
Hey,
stuff about them.
we heard it here.
All right. We will see you all next time. Goodbye.
Peace.